Hello, my wonderful people. How on a day? I don't come again to me, more when Okute Daily Talk. And I remember, say my name never change. Now maybe die your broadcaster with a difference, and that your media man with his swag. I don't land again like a Land Rover. They gonna hear this breaking news. There's a call for the arrest of ASARI DOKUBO for do what? For calling out the IGBOS. A complete nation, a complete region. That is what a single man come out to insult or to profile according to the English language. But to me, not that ASARI DOKUBO called the IGBOS out or insulted the whole Igbo nation. But my greatest surprise till this moment, there's no any prominent Igbo man, not even the governors in the southeast, have ever opened mouth and say anything concerning what ASARI DOKUBO said. Calling the whole Igbo nation slaves, no one dares to say anything. Here, who do us this thing? Please, do not say I talk too much before the news. We need to find out time or to elaborate on, expatiate on this very, very matter, because it is called for a special concern that a single buffalo, a 70-year-old mumu man, can be able to come out on the national TV and be threatening the Igbos with all kinds of ammunitions, to the extent of even telling us that if not for the intervention of the UK and whatever, that up till now, he, ASARI DOKUBO, will keep on selling our people to the British for slaves. And the whole Igbos, everybody went mute. The federal government went mute. The state government went mute. Then let an Igbo man come out now and make this kind of a single statement, just a single statement, something that will not even relate to this, similar to this. By now, he will have been warming up. They will call him a terrorist. The next one, they will be charging him for treason. On national television, the video have at least gone viral. More than millions of people have viewed this video, both locally and in diaspora. Nigeria government, keep calm. After all, the people he profiled have nothing in this Nigeria. He call us slaves. And if we people must understand what ASARI DOKUBO is saying have been a script written to give him when he went to Aso Rock. At least you people have seen what is playing out at the Alaba International Market, whereby even the occupants of those areas have already come out to do what? To deny or to say that the government of the Lagos State have not been telling them anything about any dilapidated building or whatsoever in that their very area. But the news that have it is that particular place or that the area that they have been demolished have already been sold to Chinese company for them to build whatever they want to build there. They call them foreign investors. In other words, the local ones have no place to stay. The local ones, as long as the Igbos is concerned, my dear, pack your bag and baggages and go back to your own nation. Nobody cares for you. It is high time that all the Igbos scattered everywhere, all over the world, all over the country, all over the states, let them come together and in one mind and in one voice and say enough is enough. The earlier we do this, the better for each and every one of us. So my wonderful people, let's all go straight to the news. As they call for the arrest of ASARI DOKUBO is rolling the social media. Because everyone, the Calabar, the Yorubas, even the Hausas have already called for ASARI DOKUBO's arrest for profiling the Igbos. But who are the Igbos? Look at them. The likes of what you call our Semi Amadioha, Atwese Nukbodem, Emeka Ofo, Rochas Okoroncha, Abirochas Okoro Hausa, Dave Umahi, Ugwanyi, this 500 naira governor of Abia State, and many more. We have men in the southeast. No one. Obi Kubana them. Our so-called slave two brothers, where their name be E-Money, Casey and Emeka Okonkwo. Everybody was silent. Simply because they have already considered themselves to be slaves, because they always walk behind those ones who came to meet them. Go in the whole world. When I talk about, I mean in the whole world, as long as this world is concerned. Even in the world beyond, you cannot see anywhere they speak Igbo language. Only in Nigeria. In other words, everybody that is in Nigeria, including Yoruba, Fulani, Hausa, all of them are strangers in this land, in this country called Nigeria. The original owners of this country is the Biafrans, that is the Igbos. Go and verify. According to my brother Peter Obi, he said, go and verify. Go and make your research. Come out and tell me what you found with it. Exactly what happened in Australia. That's exactly what is happening. The main people that owned Australia are the fullgist, blacks. But the whites come there, demonize them, chase them out from their own ancestral land, and make them to become slaves in their own country. That's exactly what is happening now. Look at ASARI DOKUBO, a 70-year-old mumu man. Buffalo that will soon, even his expiry date is near, is the one threatening the IGBOS, that he will wipe out the IGBOS. Despite the fact that he's trying to be relevant because he went to ASARI. The only thing he wants to be relevant with is starting from the issue of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, calling the military and the navy are the ones at the helm of the affairs of oil bunkering and oil theft. Now, after he went back home, they give him another script to write. All these things just to be relevant in this government and to provoke the IGBOS into chaos. Yes, the federal government says nothing simply because they are the one that is behind what is happening or what he's doing. Let me tell you people the truth. ASARI DOKUBO, I know that he talks anyhow, but this particular what is playing out now is order from above. So my wonderful people, please don't say I talk too much because the anger is too much on me. So do not come to the comment section and tell me I talk too much before the news. You need to at least hear all these things before you hear the main news that follows it. That is how things have been done. You cannot expect me to come out and begin to give news without not exercising my own civil right to say, because I need to lay my own voice as well to my own people, because this thing has to do with the IGBOS. I'm a complete Igbo man. I'm not a Bera. Nigeria belongs to us. Not minding that they have already come to occupy Nigeria. Okay, let us go back to our own region. Most of the prominent Igbos say, no, Nehi, unless being a slaves in the hands of the Fulani Kabas and the Sokoto Caliphate. Anyway, I don't want to talk too much. If you never subscribe to my channel, it is the right time to do that. Do that ASAP. And make sure you are subscribing, sharing, and also do what? Commenting and liking, all the very, very necessary and very, very important. The National Legal Advisor of the Association of Police Retirees under the Contributory Pension Scheme, Ofem Obatan, DSP retired and retired Superintendent of Police, Iwara Ibiang Enang, have called on the different security agencies in Nigeria to arrest and question ASARI DOKUBO, a Niger Delta militant leader, over his reported continued insightful statements against the IGBOS, against particular region, that is the Southeasterners, the IGBOS. Both were guests at Let's Talk Nigeria at a flagship sparkling FM radio morning discussion program in Calabar, Cross River State. The retired security personnel or the federal government to call ASARI DOKUBO to order immediately and investigate his claims that top military men, particularly the Navy, are neck deep in bunkering and oil theft, and that is his army is responsible to securing for some parts of the country, not the Nigerian army, according to him. So, non-state actor now is brandishing AK-47, AK-49, and AK-410 on the social media, and the federal government says nothing about it. When miscreants begin to visit Atarok, that is when I know that the security and the unity of this country is being threatened from the taproot. They also refer to the trending video on social media where he said with arms disparaging the Igbos as slaves and dismissing the capacity of Nigeria's security strength. He has been making inciting public statements. These statements are outrageous and have the capacity to cause disaffection and public anger or whatsoever. That DOKUBO is making these hurtful sentiments and parading with arms calls for very urgent actions by security agencies so that it can be a deterrent to others, and so that other young men do not think they can behave similarly and go scot-free, SP Inyang said. Obeten, on the other hand, also insisted that DOKUBO alleged statements against the Igbos in the trending video on social media where he referred to them as slaves be investigated. If you have any empirical evidence concerning calling the Igbos the slaves or how they become slaves in Nigeria, please tender it. He said the militant leaders' state and allegations should not be waved aside, maintaining that such impunity against the state must be well handled. Phone-in callers also condemned the impunity which The militant leader disparaged the IGBOS and his comment about controlling security networks, all in the country called Nigeria. World leaders eager to meet with Tinubu in France presidency speak about this. Presidential media and the head Dele Alake on Wednesday revealed that not less than 4 foreign leaders have requested to meet President Bola Tinubu in Paris, France. The meeting with other world leaders is on the sidelines of the new Global Financial Pact Summit organized by President Emmanuel Macron of France. The countries expressing interest to expand economic cooperation are France, the United States, the Switzerland, among others, as President Tinubu works to network in a bid to attract greater foreign investment to the country. Tinubu holds strategic meetings ahead of Paris Summit. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on Wednesday held a strategic meeting with stakeholders ahead of the new Global Financial Pact Summit in Paris, France. Nigerian report that the meeting was held to discuss what Nigeria stands to benefit from the 2-day Global Summit. The new Global Financial Pact Summit is slated for June 22 and 23 in Paris, France. Tinubu at the summit will join other world leaders to review and sign a new Global Financial Pact that places vulnerable countries on the priority list for support and investment following the devastating impact of climate change, energy crisis, and after effect of the COVID-19 pandemic. All these world leaders, simply because of this climate change, you want to embrace Africa, most especially Nigeria, for what they have to offer to salvage the climate change in your country. That's exactly why they are running to you. Not for them to support you, it's for them to make you dry. That's exactly the way I see it. According to the statement from the presidency, President Tinubu will participate in the 2-day summit, June 22 and 23, that looks at opportunities to restore physical space to countries that face difficult short-term financial challenges, especially the most indebted, mobilize innovative financing for countries vulnerable to climate change, foster development in low-income countries, and encourage investment in green infrastructure for the energy transition in emerging and developing economies, according to Dele Alake of the of the APC. Ignore the rascals, Prof. Michael Ozekome, San, Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor, North South, contract intact, IPOB laments, the DOS, the Directorate of State. Following the recent attacks on IPOB lead councils, the Global Family and Movement of the Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB, wished to debunk the fallacious and fabricated statement being peddled in the media that our lead counsel, Professor Michael Ozekome, San, and Sir Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor have been dismissed as part of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's legal representatives. IPOB worldwide warns that those spreading such laughable rumors to desist from that. IPOB and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who engage these dependable legal luminaries, are very confident in their legal prowess. It is laughable for an inconsequential nincompoop to go on social media and announce the sacking of some people he did not hire. What a stupidity, according to the news. Biafrans and lovers of Biafran freedom across the world should ignore the purported statement from the so-called brothers of our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, regards IPOB members as his brothers and sisters. The legal representation contract between IPOB, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and Prof. Michael Ozekome, San, and Sir Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor are still intact. They are not Kanu's family lawyers, but IPOB and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's lawyers. We encourage our lead counsel and other members of the legal team not to be distracted or discouraged in their fight for the unconditional release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the Ohamadike one of Igbo land, from DSS dungeon at the courts as ordered. The agenda of IPOB and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's enemies is to get the lead counsel angry and abandon Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Their agenda is dead on arrival, and the lead counsel are not amateur to intimidation and blackmail, since they are not new to all this kind of thing. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu once said publicly in this Biafran struggle, I have no brothers, nor do I have sisters, except IPOB members And therefore, any so-called brothers or brother claiming or speaking for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in DSS dungeon is making a jest of himself. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not in detention because of his family, but because of his Biafran's freedom. Everybody must be careful because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has gone beyond Kanu's family. He is a leader and the face of Biafra. He is a national asset for Biafrans and must be protected from wolverine and jackals. This one is coming from Emma Powerful, Comrade, Media and Publicity Secretary for IGBOS. APC members invite Wike to lead party in Rivers State. I don't understand though. Wike now is Wike for PDP or for APC. The All Poverty Congress has extended an invitation to the former governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, to join their party and assume leadership in the state. Wow, what a word. In addition to this, they commended President Bola Tinubu for his accomplishment while in office, stating that he has not let the party down. Chief Tony Okocha, a notable figure in APC and ex-chief of staff to the Rivers State government, made a call during a comprehensive party meeting in Port Harcourt. Okocha, previously leading the now dissolved Tinubu and Shettima presidential campaign organization, believed that Wike possesses the qualities the APC needs to secure election victories in the state. Wike should come over to APC and lead us, Okocha said, noting the underappreciated influence of Wike within the People's Democratic Party. So they don't appreciate him simply because they not allow him to pocket the party. Okocha further urged President Bola Tinubu to allocate whatever appointment benefits are due to Rivers State to Wike as a reward for his contributions of helping him to rig the election. He praised Wike's significant role in securing President Tinubu's election victory in the state, asking the president to overlook those who prioritize personal ambitions over the party's interests. We hear that people are scheming that they will receive what is due to Rivers State. We are here to re-emphasize that leadership is an old as creation. The leadership of APC in Rivers State have been at peace with Wike when things were difficult. Wike obliged us, said Okocha. He said that Rivers State, having solidity behind Tinubu, deserves recognition. Nobody should rob Peter to pay Paul. Our right should be handed over to Wike. We say so because we have confidence that as soon as it gets to him, he knows who worked for Tinubu and it will get to us, Okocha concluded. Sharing of the national cake continues. Nothing to work for, nor nothing to show for. Only sharing and sharing and sharing. And Nigeria keep dying on daily basis. On our way down, compensator. And so they go use Nigerian the poor masses taxpayers' money to compensate you people simply because on a help and lead the election. Nigerian pastor accuses Dunamis Gospel Church founder Paul Eneche of breaching agreements, failing to replace car which got damaged since 2020. This one, all these churches, for you to get their money, my dear, yeah, you never know anything. Daniel told Sarah reporters on Wednesday that Pastor Paul Eneche and the church management have refused to provide for the replacement of his car, 2004 Corolla, which was damaged in 2020 when he was trailed by Pastor Paul Eneche over alleged blackmail against him and his church. Pastor Abraham Daniel, a former Dunamis International Gospel Center minister, has accused Pastor Paul Eneche, founder and the senior pastor of the church, of failing to honor a gentleman's agreement between them. Daniel told Sahara reporters on Wednesday that Paul Eneche and the church management have refused to provide or to replace his Toyota Corolla 2004 model. The minister had earlier told Sahara reporters how Paul Eneche falsely accused him and had him imprisoned on triumph of charges, according to the news. Daniel has said Eneche and other pastors were angry at him for leaving the church, while also claiming that Daniel, publicly criticized Eneche in his Facebook post that revealed the activities of the church. Narrating his order to Sahara reporter, Daniel said while he was in prison, he lost his business, while his wife also moved away with their 5 children on the influence of the church. According to Daniel, after resigning from his position as a pastor, he was accused of embezzling the church funds through a post sponsored by the church on Naira Land, a microblogging site and other news platform. He was thereafter accused of posting about Paul Eneche on Facebook, which led to his detention for 3 weeks at the Suleja prison, Abuja. Speaking to Sahara reporters on Wednesday, Daniel said after Sahara reporters' story, Eneche decided to have an agreement with him at the Force Criminal Investigation and Intelligence Department, where the parties agreed on an out-of-court settlement. Daniel added that Eneche promised to replace his car, which was damaged during the time he was being trailed. It can be called a gentleman's agreement. It was when we met at the FCID in order to withdraw the case. I brought my conditions. They brought their conditions too. It was a gentleman's agreement. No lawyer and nothing was drafted like a legal team or legal term. Their lawyer and the police that came to arrest me even met me at the scene of the accident. While commenting on the alleged blackmailing, Daniel said there was a write-up I wrote that time in 2020 because they were intervening in my marriage. My ex was always going to send them with my children and all of that. I told them to hands off of my family. So I wrote that if anything happens to me or my children, they would be responsible. He also revealed how his family had been struggling to make ends meet since his car was damaged. He noted that the car was the sole item he relied on to feed his 5 children, a task which is currently difficult due to the refusal of Eneche and the church to honor their agreement. On the other hand, we have what is called the trial of an alleged terrorist negotiator, DOKUBO, starred by absence of Nigerian government's lawyer. Na so the story be. The commencement of trial of an alleged terrorist negotiator, DOKUBO, was started on the Wednesday by the absence of counsel for Nigerian government. Mamu is being tried over his alleged relationship with terrorists that were involved in the attack on the Kaduna-Abuja train in 2022. Mamu's matter, which was stayed on the court list, was fixed for the trial before Justice Inyang Ekwo of the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja. But when the matter was called up on Wednesday, the news agency of Nigeria NAN reported that only Mamu's counsel, Obiabo Francis Okamedo, was in court. The Nigerian lawyer, where are you? Nowhere to be found. Mamu's lawyer told the court that he was notified through a letter from the prosecution that the prosecuting counsel in the matter had gone on training and that they suggested a date for vacation. Justice Inyang Ekwo said that the adjournment was at the instance of the prosecution, then fixed July 19 for the trial. Recall that Mamu was arraigned on March 21 by the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation on 10 counts bordering on terrorism financing, especially in relation to the Abuja-Kaduna train attack. He was also accused of collecting various sums of money in various currencies on behalf of Boko Haram terrorists from the families of the victims of the train attack. He was said to have collected $420,000 from the families of victims of the attack and another 21 million naira from other families and stashed the funds in his Kaduna residence in violation of previous provisions of the Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act. However, he pleaded not guilty to the charges, but on April 27, the court declined to grant him bail on health grounds. The judge, who heard that the grounds were not cogent enough to grant bail to the defendant facing terrorism-related charges, also cited Mamu's failure to debunk the claims contained in the counter affidavit filed to oppose his bail application by the Department of State Service (DSS), the agency keeping him in custody. The former terrorist negotiator was arrested on September 6, 2022 on his way to Saudi Arabia for the lesser Haji and was detained at Cairo International Airport before being repatriated to Nigeria. So my wonderful people, here we go take pack our kaya and go with the go-so. In case you never subscribe, this is the right time for you to do that. Subscribe, like, share, and also comment. And any of my video, you feel it's okay for you to comment, it's okay for you to share, and it's okay for you to like as well, because it is very, very important and necessary that you join hands in this advocate of good governance that we are calling on, to making sure that things is working the way it's supposed to work in a country, in an oil producing country like Nigeria, whereby the e-citizen can't even see fuel to buy. Talk less of the increment in the fuel pump price. Nigeria on our way down. So my wonderful people, the one who loves me and the lovers of Biafran freedom, now here I go take leave on. Say make on use this one, they step down. Until you hear my voice again, I see the man, your one and the only Okute Delito from my own corner. May the Almighty God bless us all, the Father, the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Bye for now, my people. Kenesiano.